Hello and welcome to another edition of the Father and Son Pastime podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
That's my dad. We're continuing with our series of the all-time dream teams, fantasy teams for all MLB franchises. We've done a bunch so far. Today is the Boston Red Sox,
which you are a huge fan.
I am a huge fan. We did the Chicago Cubs recently, and that's obviously that is your favorite team.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then being Red Sox being your favorite team, you'll get the lion's share of comments, and you can talk about your favorites and everything else. And then I'm here to either agree with those comments or add a few others. But being your, should we tell about the great story of you seeing Fenway Park for the first time?
No, we're going to focus on the team, not my personal experience.
Call me and I'll tell you the story.
Yeah, sure. Call him. If you get a good job, good luck with that. Again, just some parameters for while we're doing this. So only Boston Red Sox, so that's 1908 to now. No Boston Americans, so sorry, Cy Young, who we're basing a lot of this. Oh, he's got all these Cy Young awards. Well, we won't be talking about Cy Young. And then they have to have at least 3 years of service time. For the Red Sox, that's not going to be hard. There's a lot of great talent. In fact, there's going to be a lot of people off this list, in my opinion. You could make a whole separate dream team for.
You could do top 30. Yeah. I mean, they have so many talented players already.
Easy 40-man roster.
Oh, yeah.
With some severe All-Stars and Hall of Famers. Hall of Famers are, in theory, left off this list.
Yeah.
For example, I'll give a hint. Jim Rice is not on my list, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Just because I think the best left fielders ever have really been in Red Sox uniforms.
Well, Jim was right fielder.
Jim was actually more left. He spent more time. You could put him in. Again, you could really argue you could put anyone in any position. But in terms of some of the three best left fielders ever, Williams, Yaz, and Rice spent the majority of their time in left field. I will find another place for Yaz, though, on this roster. So I'll start with the Pudge, Carlton Fisk behind the plate. Very simple choice for me.
Yeah, Fisk all the way. I mean, what a great leader. And, again, was there with the during the playoffs, and a true leader of the Red Sox back in those days. He was a guy that really manned the clubhouse and made everybody play harder, and was a true Red Sox and just loved by the fan base.
Mm-hmm. For first base, I have Yaz. And now again, I said that he's a great left fielder. He did end his career as a first baseman, and then I have to put Yaz in the list. Obviously, Ted Williams will be my left fielder. So Yaz will be my first base.
Okay. There was a guy named Jimmie Foxx.
Yes, Jimmie Foxx is, again, I said Hall of Famers would be left off this list. And Jimmy is fantastic, too.
And Jimmy was from Maryland.
Yes, he was.
Eastern Shore.
Eastern Shore, that is correct.
Right.
We're from Maryland, if you don't know about that, from watching our Orioles and Nationals series so far. Second, and again, I'm not choosing a Hall of Famer yet. He should be in the Red Sox Hall of Fame at some point, but Dustin Pedroia is my all-time best second baseman for the Red Sox.
Great leader.
Bobby Doerr, I know you're going to say, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're going to go older people, and I'm going to go newer people.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dustin, another guy that you really like to see on a diamond, and just a tough guy.
Yeah.
And wasn't the biggest guy, 5'7".
No.
And even in college, people were hesitating about drafting him and saying, will he be a great major league player? And Theo Epstein took a chance on him from the University of Arizona and turned out to be a great draft pick.
Just talk about grit and resilience. Dustin Pedroia is it for me. I know you talked a lot about Max Scherzer in a previous podcast. For me, it's Dustin. I mean, again, he's the person I would start at second base.
Right, and limited physically, but just hustled his butt off and played the game the way it was supposed to be played.
Yeah, and just so you don't accuse me of playing favorites, my favorite Red Sox ever was Pokey Reese, and I didn't put him on this list because
that would have met with some problems.
I know, because there's a lot of other options, including Hall of Famers. Shortstop, I'm choosing the best, not so much defensive shortstop ever, but clearly best offensive Red Sox shortstop, Nomar Garciaparra.
I agree 100%. Loved his way he played the game. Again, came up in the shortstop era of 5 fantastic shortstops.
But always got left off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, think about during that year with Jeter and Ripken and Rodriguez. And,
Vizquel in there, too, when he was an Indian.
Yeah.
So there's just, I mean, I'm not saying Nomar was bad defensively, but all those other people were better defensively. A-Rod is kind of But, again, Nomar, for me, is the starting shortstop for this all-time Red Sox team.
Correct.
Third base, I have Boggsy. I have Wade Boggs.
That's right.
We all know. I know you're gonna. Yes, the story that he drank like 70 beers going cross country on an airplane is still a great story. Focusing on stats,
Yeah.
He's my third baseman for the
Yeah.
Red Sox.
I mean, he made going to the opposite field fashionable. And when he bought bad leadoff for many years, and he took the outside pitch and went to left field all the time, and that's why his average was like 346.
I think he's had fun
you
with the
know?
game. He
Yeah.
really did have a lot of fun playing, being in the clubhouse. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a person you want on this all-time team because, I mean, there's a lot of fun on
Yeah.
this team too. Defensively, again, it's not going to be the best team ever, but offensively and fun, it's really
But
great.
you're in Fenway.
Yeah.
It's an offensive stadium.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to score a lot of runs. A lot of runs probably get scored on us too, but we're going to
Wish
score.
I had a Fenway Frank right now.
It is good. Left field's Ted Williams. I don't know if we need to discuss this. He's clearly the best left fielder to ever play the game.
I agree. I mean, and then he served his country during the stint
2 years
in baseball.
Yeah, and
Think about that.
He was in the the Air Force wasn't a thing there, but he was a pilot, and that just goes to show how great his vision was at the plate. If he was a pilot, because they're only given, if you're a pilot, you have to have like 20/20 vision or better.
Yeah.
So, no wonder he could see the ball so well.
Took 2 of his prime years away.
Yeah.
And he still did what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. So center field, I have an old timer, Hall of Fame, Tri Speaker.
I do. I agree.
Yeah.
And then I had Freddie Lynn as a backup.
Yeah.
And Freddie Lynn made my list with the Orioles, but Freddie was right there during the rejuvenation of the 70s. And again, a great center figure. But I had Tri as well.
So right field is where I think you'll probably say Dewey Evans, and I'm saying Mookie Betts.
I said Babe Ruth.
So very interesting, because even though he pitched more for the Red Sox than played.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I did the research and I found out how many years he was in Boston, I said he's got to make the list.
That's fair. I'm going to leave him only as a Yankee just because I can't put him on this team effectively, if that makes any sense. Yeah. But I enjoy Mookie with the whole coronavirus and not having the season possibly, that Mookie could possibly be a free agent again in October. He could still be a lifelong Red Sox. So that possibility is not out of the woods yet.
And they got all the players in return.
I know. So that would be a hell of a swing.
Yeah, that could be.
But Mookie, he's, in my opinion, the second best baseball player offensively in the game. Trout's first, then Mookie. And there's some stats to back that up. It's not Harper, it's Mookie. So it's hard to ignore that youth, that talent. Hopefully will come back in a Red Sox uniform at some point. But he's still technically never put on another uniform and played a true game. It's only been spring training games for the Dodgers. So just kind of keeping that in mind.
Just imagine what his contract's going to be.
Shy of Trout. Could you argue anything different?
No. He has everything going for him.
Yeah. DH is simple. Best DH ever, David Ortiz.
Yep.
Big Papi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still involved with the city and the Red Sox. And thank God that he survived the the gunshots and everything else. That would have been a sad day in baseball.
Yes, terrible day in Boston.
Yeah.
We're recording this only 2 days after Patriot Day, so I won't repeat what David Ortiz said on that fateful day after they came back and had a home game. But you look at this list and you look at all the icons on there, but I really think Papi was an icon, at least in my generation, of a team, not only a team but a city.
12 years or more?
What, that he was a Red Sox?
Yeah.
He was, I think 12 years. 12 or 13 seasons.
Stolen from the Twins.
Yeah. That was a mistake, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Pitcher. Plenty of options here again. Not Cy Young, because Cy Young only played 1 year with the Red Sox in 1908. That was truly their first title. That worked out, but then he was no longer a Red Sox after that. I'm going Pedro Martinez.
Me too.
Because they're in the prime of Pedro's career happened in Boston. His ERA was so low, I don't know if there was a better pitcher during those years than Pedro, AL or NL.
And when it came to big games.
Yeah.
He loved the big games.
Yes, he did. And he just played well.
Yeah.
He has a ring. Was he on the 2007 team? I know he was in 4. I can't remember if he was in 7.
I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought he was a Met by then. But again, he was a huge part of that 2004 team. I do remember that really well. So I'm very happy that he was able to get a World Series ring. If I had to pick a matchup in terms of an AL, NL, all-time team for me, my generation, Pedro and Greg Maddux.
Yeah, been a hell of a game.
Going at it 1-0.
2-1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Pedro is my starter. the reliever or setup man here and closer, I know I'm going to get a little controversy for. Red Sox all-time save leader is Jonathan Papelbon. Personality-wise, not a lot of people liked him. He is talented, but I'm going to use him as my setup man for the person that I thought inspired so many people in 2013, Koji Uehara. He's my closer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had Koji as setup.
And Pap.
Yeah. But, along in that whole little just group, got Andrew Miller, with huge, talented. Got him Jeff Reardon, and Dick Raditz is one of the main closers, too.
Kimbrel, I think, is in that name. I think he's a very talented closer. He's clearly going to have over 300 saves in his life. But I give Koji.
Yeah.
I give it a Koji. Then it's just...
You just want his walk-up music.
Yeah, again, Spirit of Boston. So that was just really, really fantastic. Talking about... We also do managers and logos. I don't know if I said that already. Manager for me... You look at someone who, again, just like for the Cubs, with Joe Maddon ending a curse, you look at someone who's ending a curse. Terry Francona has 2 World Series rings with the Red Sox, so he is my all-time Red Sox manager.
I agree. And again, a steady force. Players loved him. He got in a little disarray towards the end and all that stuff, but the players liked playing for him. He was a player's manager.
Yeah,
it was huge.
He was great. The logo, so there's been 8 logos that the Red Sox have ever done. Here you are right here in a nice little printout. However, it's the one I'm wearing. Their current logo with the Sox is the one I'm choosing. I don't know if you've seen on social media, but because of social distancing, they've redone their logo just as a joke, but to separate the Sox so they're no longer touching, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite logo too?
Yes. They had pointed out the Sox with the white tips to them because there's one that's similar to that with pure red.
Yes. Almost 100 years ago, they just did a true red stocking, and then the Sox right there. Yep.
That's my favorite. Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for watching again. Give us a like, subscribe, comment. Again, this is 100+ years of Red Sox teams. I'm sure people are going to have differing opinions, and that's totally fine. We welcome that, but let us know in the comments below.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks.